Hello YouTube and people of the interwebs, welcome back to another Doctor Who video. Today we're going to be discussing a very interesting quote from the man himself, Ncuti Gatwa. Our incoming 15th Doctor has possibly spoilt something for the future of Doctor Who, but I mean, it's all over the internet now, it's being officially reported, and I am going to tell you why I don't think he means in the actual show. I don't think it is a plot spoiler, but we'll get into that in a second. What am I referring to? Well, TV Zone, along with a whole host of other news outlets, has reported that Ncuti Gatwa, speaking at the GQ Men of the Year ceremony, said, "I shouldn't say this, but I shot a scene, somehow, with the first ever Doctor, William Hartnell. We end up in the same scene together at some point." Okay. What? Nice little David Tennant reference there. Speaking of whom, maybe this is in David Tennant's return as the Doctor. In the upcoming 3 60th anniversary specials, maybe that's where we'll see this first Doctor scene. What's interesting is he does say by name William Hartnell, and I'm assuming everyone who watches this video knows or can just logically assume, but sadly William Hartnell is no longer with us. So how did Ncuti Gatwa shoot a scene with him? Well, if we look to the latest episode of the show that we currently have out, The Power of the Doctor, we see David Bradley playing the First Doctor. He also played the First Doctor in Twice Upon a Time back in 2017, and I'll talk more about this in depth in a minute, but he played William Hartnell back in 2013's 50th anniversary special thing. It wasn't a canonical thing, it was like a docudrama talking about the creation of Doctor Who. But yeah, David Bradley played William Hartnell in that. So maybe it's David Bradley who Ncuti Gatwa has a scene with. Maybe David Bradley crops up in the 60th anniversary to play the First Doctor, and Ncuti's saying William Hartnell. I think that's unlikely. I am 99% sure. And yeah, I'm confident. I'll put a $5 on it. I'll bet a $5 with a random person in the comments. But I don't think the 60th is multi-Doctor. The only way it will be multi-Doctor, in my opinion, is the 14th Doctor, David Tennant, meeting the 15th Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa. I think that's it. I don't think there's any other Doctors, especially because we just had Power of the Doctor. As I mentioned, we had a whole host of classic Doctors, especially the first one there. So bringing them back immediately would just be a bit random. But, as I said, if you remember back to the 2013 docudrama An Adventure in Space and Time, you'll remember, as I say, David Bradley plays William Hartnell. So maybe this shot here from An Adventure in Space and Time, where David Bradley looks over to see a green-screened Matt Smith as the Doctor smiling back at him, maybe that is going to be edited for the 60th anniversary to be Ncuti Gatwa. So maybe David Bradley playing William Hartnell, playing the First Doctor, looks over, I think this is the most likely thing, looks over and in Matt Smith's place now is Ncuti Gatwa. Or maybe the BBC have done a really cool thing where it's sort of all of the Doctors, and he looks over and sees Ncuti Gatwa and all of the Doctors. Because you will note on BBC iPlayer, I don't think as of right now, An Adventure in Space and Time is actually up on iPlayer. And that's quite interesting when you think about it. Like, why wouldn't they have posted it to iPlayer already? Like, I reckon it's because they're going to post it on the Whoniverse page on iPlayer, possibly Disney Plus as well, on the 23rd of November, and do a little celebration thing where Ncuti Gatwa makes a little cameo at the end of it, because that's really nice, that's really cool. I reckon that's what Ncuti's talking about. The other possibility is the other event that's happening on November 23rd for the 60th anniversary, the colorization of the original Dalek serial, The Daleks. Now, Russell has said that this has been cut down to 75 minutes by Benjamin Cook, and it's been colorized, and there's new scenes added. So yeah, maybe in this colorization of the Daleks, the 15th Doctor somehow crops up in that, because that technically would be William Hartnell seeing Ncuti Gatwa. So if they re-edited and recolorized this original Dalek story, maybe you get like a nice little something, and I don't know where it would fit, and I don't know how it would fit or what it would fit, but yeah, maybe they've used archive footage of William Hartnell for a separate project, because I really don't think it's the main show. Obviously, yeah, that's a possibility. None of this is confirmed. The only thing we know is that technically Ncuti Gatwa will somehow share a scene with some version of the First Doctor, technically. Let me know your theories in the comments down below, because yeah, it's a difficult one. I think the most likely is the Adventure in Space and Time. Then, the second most likely is something for the colorized version of the Daleks. Somehow it'll crop up in that. And yeah, third most likely is archive footage for the 60th or something. Like, when you think about it as well, another possibility, if he is in the 60th at all, it'll be like an original look back at the first Toymaker story, where you have the First Doctor versus the Toymaker, because we know that Neil Patrick Harris is playing the Toymaker in the 60th, so who's to say that, yeah, there's going to be some sort of clever editing thing going on where you see Ncuti, Hartnell and David Tennant together, those three Doctors, which arguably would be the most iconic Doctors from their sort of eras. I suppose Tom Baker just about wins over William Hartnell, but you could have, like, yeah, William Hartnell for old Doctor Who, David Tennant for middle Doctor Who, and Ncuti Gatwa for the new Disney Plus era of Doctor Who. Something like that would be nice in the 60th, but yeah, as I say, I really think that's unlikely, and I don't think people should get their hopes up. I do not think the First Doctor is going to appear in the 60th anniversary, but the only episode I think he could appear in, if he is Wild Blue Yonder. Now, we have this interesting article to go over discussing sort of Wild Blue Yonder stuff, and we now have an official air date and time. I mean, we had the date already, but we have the time now. Wild Blue Yonder will air on Saturday the 2nd of December, BBC One and BBC iPlayer at 6:30 p.m. This is the same time as the Star Beast will air in almost a week's time, which is insanely exciting. On the 25th of November, we're getting the Star Beast at 6:30, and I mean, it goes without saying now, it's kind of logical. The Giggle will probably air at 6:30 p.m. on the 9th of December. All three 60th specials, 6:30. I think that's the same sort of time that Russell's era used to have, like 6:30, 6:40, around there. But yeah, Davies has previously hinted at what's to come in the second episode and suggests it's kind of scary. Speaking at a Q&A following a screening of the Star Beast, Davies said, "The next one is called Wild Blue Yonder, where the TARDIS goes further than ever before, and it's weird, the next one. It's kind of scary. It's not super scary, it's just weird," he continued. "It's genuinely weird. It's really nice." That stretched the whole design team as to how to make it and how to get this stuff on screen. So, yeah, Wild Blue Yonder is seemingly the most wacky of these 60th anniversary specials, so if we are getting the First Doctor back, I don't think it's going to happen. Don't get your hopes up. If we are, it's probably in Wild Blue Yonder. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.